Andy Farrell, yeah. I do know.
That's quite
insane.
a stat.
That's insane. But I think that's also saying more about his dad though as well. Andy Farrell was a hard bastard, eh? That was hard as nails.
I think he also sowed some wild oats at a young age.
Yeah. No, probably not too sure, but yeah, that is actually wild, eh? That is unreal to think about it. Jeez, like.
Yeah. Well, now that we're already in the Northern Hemisphere, I think let's just delve into the current crisis in my neck of the woods. So, and it's not really good to hear in a country like the UK, especially with like funds being so hard to come by in South Africa. But I'm sure you heard that Worcester and the Wasps have gone into administration.
Worcester Warriors.
Worcester
Warrior. I don't know how you guys pronounce
it.
Worcestershire. It's probably Worcester or something like that. But yeah, the Worcester Warriors. And well, I thought they were the London Wasps, but I see they moved to a different area. I'm just trying to remember what that was. And then they dropped the London part from their name. That was actually in preparation for like getting less funds already back then. I mean, this was just a few years ago, I think.
But they just dropped London so they wouldn't have to pay royalties.
Yeah, so they no. So they relocated to Coventry in 2014.
Okay.
So because their reasoning was because London is such a there's so many clubs and things in London.
Yeah.
That they wanted to go to a different area to try and not have to combat with all the Premier League teams and all of those things, you know. So I mean, it already started back then, and I think it's just with the no supporters at the stadiums the last year or so, or
with
2 years ago.
The pandemic.
So yeah, I mean, with that, the guys, they haven't had a lot of ticket sales and things like that, and I think just trying to get back from that has been a massive issue. So it's actually been quite distressing to read about it, because I mean, if you think about it, these clubs are massive, and they were at a stage very well paid and they were making a lot of money. Now to see them just have this crisis, it's very concerning.
Stat. Sorry for interrupting. So I went and I did my research. Apparently, and I could only find it at Northampton, but Northampton Rugby Club generates between 350 and 450 grand. So pounds. So, I mean, 450,000 pounds profit per game just on ticket sales.
Jeez, like, okay, that's quite a lot.
So all of a sudden you're missing 3 of those a season, you're losing out on £1 million. So with all these salaries and stuff being astronomical these days, you can see how much that hurts.
Yeah, but also in saying that, they've had a salary cap in England from, I think it's 1999, where they've had a cap on how much the salaries of the players.
How much that salary cap is?
No, I don't. No, I didn't delve that deep into it.
When I did my delve yesterday, I saw that apparently post-COVID, it's £5 million. I think it's a season per team. That's the max. So obviously, I would imagine that that's probably hit by some teams and not hit by others.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think Pollard, when he went to Leicester Tigers now, I mean, I think he's got a big contract. He's making a lot of buck.
Should I have a little look-see and see if we can pull that up quickly?
Yeah, I mean, and then he gets injured.
Yeah, that's flipping crazy.
It was the same was it Racing Metro where he went to, and he was pretty much injured the whole time.
Do you reckon he just saves himself for the Bokke?
Well, he's going to miss the end of year tour, so I don't think he's saving himself.
I think I'm seeing reports here. So this one report, let me just get it up. Sorry for So I'll just bring up this one as well. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't want to mistake the fans.
That's perfect.
Okay, here's a better one. So I'll bring up this one here. Check how we're evolving here, huh?
The way of the future.
So yeah, Ruck TM, that's a good site. I've been on here before. Henry Pollard's moved to the Premiership imminent with huge salary revealed. So he was getting a bar at Montpellier.
Yeah.
And at Leicester Tigers, he's getting 600K.
You see, that's the thing. Like, you've got the salary cap and things. Okay, well, you said it's 5 bar. So I mean, now you're splashing that much cash on one player, which it's a world-class player. I mean, it's the same in football. It's sometimes you don't understand it, but it is what it is. If you're good enough, you get paid, I guess.
I mean, you're drawing people in to watch that guy because, look, I'll be honest. There's some times where you go watch a game and you're very keen to see certain individuals do their thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like when you, no disrespect to the provincial things and whatnot, but you enjoy watching it more when all of the internationals get back into the team. It just is what it is. I mean, it's kudos to the guys that aren't playing international and they keep on grinding to eventually get a breakthrough or things like that. I mean, they there week in, week out, giving it their all. But at the end of the day, you want to see your internationals playing. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, if we look at this financial crisis thing, it's bad because I mean, those are two top clubs that just they're not part of the Premiership this year anymore. If my understanding,
so they go. So based on what I saw yesterday, they get relegated from the tier they're currently playing, and staff get laid off. And then obviously with that, there's knock-on effects because those teams that are supposed to play them, although they get the points, they lose out on the ability to sell out. And I think a team like Tigers, Leicester Tigers, they sell out week in, week out. They've got a staunch rugby following. There's going to be a knock-on effect. I'll keep tabs on it, because I think it's something that I want to keep abreast of because I mean, if England can't afford to pay their players.
Yeah, it's very strange, eh? That's why I was thinking about it. I couldn't really understand it. And then look, I mean, the thing is, I just think in England, football is king, I think. And then cricket is also massive. Absolutely massive there.
That's having struggles of its own now, but I mean, we'll get onto that on checking all the angles with Billy Bowden.
That sounds good. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't bode well for rugby union at all if teams like these are starting to go into administration and things like that. I mean, it's scary to think. But then I also think the running of the clubs and things like that. I mean, you see it in all types of sports, though. If you don't have the right people in the right places making the right decisions, you are going to make losses and you're not going to actually reach your targets to keep everything afloat. So I think overall, they just need to have a very good look and delve into these things as soon as possible. Because I mean, if you're getting super clubs like Wasps and Worcester just going into administration, I mean, that's frightening.
So on that note, there's talk of an EFL style shake up to the league. So currently, the Premiership teams, for the most part, are all revenue-based teams. So they get how they operate is based on the revenue they generate, which I think is very sick. That's still like proper club rugby, and that's club sport essentially. However, as like the article I read on Northampton, they say they don't want to become a club that they rely on one owner who's bought the club and then he funds all the decisions. They want to be like a people's club. And at the end of the day, you know what? I can see that resonating with people that follow rugby. I think to be a rugby supporter and a rugby player, you sing a different tune to that of footballers.
Way more hardcore.
But there's passion, there's camaraderie. I mean, playing Sunday league football now, the stories I can tell you on 2 outings. It is hectic. The abuse these referees get. I mean, the colorful language for some guy who's given up, like he's weighed up going to church or reffing a Sunday league game to earn a few extra bucks, and the colorful language that gets shot in these guys' directions.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see it on even the professionals though. They go at the ref, eh?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I still like so much about rugby. You get put in your place. The ref might be the smallest guy on the field, but he puts you in your place and you call him sir and you're like, sorry, won't happen again. I mean, you don't see that in football. They don't apologize or they just, it feels like they feel they're quite entitled sometimes, which is, it's just a different sport though. But the financial thing, not good. I don't know what the solutions are. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not in that position.
I don't know enough yet, but I'll keep tabs on it. We've got the Papes book now. So we'll see where this goes.
It'll be nice to delve into it again at a later stage and just actually see what the guys their solutions were and things like that. I think it's quite important. I mean, look, if I look at the French top 14, those oaks are still going strong. You don't hear any murmurs about anything there. I mean, the URC as well, so South Africa, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, don't hear any murmurs there as well. Things are going well, oaks getting paid well. I mean, I think I know Australia and New Zealand, they're also struggling at a stage, but I think that's all okay now. I know New Zealand got a cash influx from something a while ago. Australia's probably the other one where it's still a little bit up in the air. I think they also struggle with the Aussie rules and things there that actually does way better than the rugby. Which is
well, we can put a bookmark in there. I will keep tabs aside, but I mean, I know we like to keep abreast of what's happening in the rugby world.
Definitely.
And then what's the year-end tours? Maybe an update there. I think from my side, wanted to dive into it a bit yesterday, but I wanted to get a handle on the financial situation this side. But maybe you can tell me 1 or 2 things there, and then I can add my 2 things.
So, look, South Africa are only announcing their squad for the end of year tour next week, Friday, which will be the 28th. So that's still a week or so away, or
That's a week before the first game.
Yeah, pretty much.
The first game's the 4th.
The 5th, against Ireland.
Okay, carry on.
So, look, I mentioned this earlier. Okay, let's just quickly see here. So, I wasn't 100% sure how they're going to do it because we're playing 2 midweek games as South Africa A as well against, I think it was Bristol Bears and Munster, it
Okay.
looks like. Okay, so it looks like there will be a 34-man squad, and then they'll pick
Touring
10
squad.
touring squad, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll pick a further 20 SAA guys as well, which that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of O's. In total, that'll be 54 or something like
That's
that.
plus backroom staff. That's a big travel budget. Yo.
Yeah, that's a big tour. Oh, yeah, it is
Carbon,
54. Correct. It is
carbon,
54. There we go.
carbon emissions for everyone.
100% get that carbon footprint down. Just drive, just drive them there. Tell them to swim over
The
just do a
channel.
little, yeah, just swim over the Channel Oaks. Yeah, okay, so there's 54 players in total. That really is a lot of Oaks. So with us not knowing the squad yet, there is, however, a little training camp that they're holding in Stellenbosch next week. And they have invited 26 guys to that. I'll go through the list here. So we've got the props as Thomas de Toy, Kitself, Malherbe, and Oxenche. So they've been invited. Then the hookers is Marks and Bonambi. The locks is Luat, Yeben, and Murat. Loose forward.
Persisting with Murat, eh?
Yeah, he's good. I think if they he's a unit as well. He was also a prodigy at school level. He was unreal. Yeah, it was very good.
Okay.
Then loose forwards, you have Peter Steff, Sia, Alrich Low, yeah, and Alquaster. Then utility forwards, they call them now, is Dion Fourie and Franco Mostert. Also, scrummies, Faf and Jaden. Okay, then this is now where it starts getting a little bit shaky because I really hope that they do make some hard decisions on fly half because I think we need to check our options before the World Cup next year. So they've only listed one fly half for this training camp, and that's Johan Goosen, which is also, it's a good thing, but he is also very injury prone. So it is quite concerning.
Fly half for the camp.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just 26 guys, but I mean, if you look at the names that are listed here, you can see most of these guys will be starters in all probability.
Yeah,
then
I
we've
know,
also,
that's fine. That's fine. I agree. That's true.
then I mean, at centers it's Jesse Creel and Damien de Allende. That's it. Then outside backs, Kurtley Orense, Willie Leroux, Mapimpi, Spoonkosi, and then the utility back is Damian Willemse. So they said they're not going to invite Frans Steyn because they know what they have in him. So he doesn't need to go.
Go sit on the farm and drink your brandies.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go. They know what they get. So they're like,
that's outrageous.
You can sit this one out.
Completed rugby if the national
It's unreal. That's just Frans Steyn things, I guess, eh? That's just Frans Steyn things.
That's such a next tier of. And
yeah, it is what it is.
Got 100 caps. I mean, that's sinful. That is sinful.
No, I don't know. It's how. Yeah, I mean, look. Then Owen Farrell gets 100 caps. And like, he hasn't won 2 World Cups.
And a Tri Nations and 2 British and Irish Lions tours. The only thing Frans Steyn hasn't won is Super Rugby.
Yeah, well, in 2007, he pretty much threw that one in the drain as well, though. I watched that game probably about 2 months ago, just to feel the agony against the Bulls, yeah, to feel that agony and pain again. Because I was like, I actually can't remember that game too well, so I had a little rewatch. Oh my gosh, that was painful.
I think Jaco was that at the Shark Tank?
Yeah, it was at the Shark Tank when Brian Abana, like the defenders parted like the Red Sea, and he was just cruising, and he just went like, "Oh, this is nice." Jump over line.
In celebration of that win, Jaco van der Westhuizen and climbed onto the poles.
Yeah.
And celebrated on the poles.
Yeah, that was epic. It was, look, I mean, it was probably one of the best finishes to a rugby final you'll ever see in your life. But I mean, the Sharks had 2 opportunities to close it out, and they did not do that. So that was, yeah, and that's where Frans Steyn had the chance to do it, but he didn't. So it is what it is.
Lick
but I mean,
Wolves. Carry on.
yeah.
What were you saying? Sorry, before I interrupted you.
No, I mean, yeah. So those are the 26 guys that they've got for this alignment camp or whatever you want to call it. I think it's just pretty much a little preparation to those. I'm guessing that they probably going to be the starters, or the match day 23 for the first test. I mean, if I just look at it, it just makes sense because it's all the big guns pretty much there.
That's the call. That's the call for the tour. I don't think we're going to take this tour lightly. I think we know what we're capable of doing against the Southern Hemisphere teams. I think it's also about giving these Northern Hemisphere teams a bit of a scare. I think they are playing. There's mind games afoot here. They're not gonna leave too much unsaid. Although they're going to keep some stuff back. We know Jacques and we know Rassi, but I think they're going to them up physically.
So what's also going to be nice is the old Rassi will actually be allowed in the stadiums now. So he'll be back in the stadiums. Probably not going to be a water boy again. I don't think he's allowed to do that anymore.
Maybe in the box.
Yeah, so I mean, your stadium ban and things is over now.
I saw him. Did he get a stadium ban?
Yeah, it was like for a year and a bit, eh? After the British and Irish Lions. Yeah. After after Jaco Johan leaked that video.
Shithousery.
Oh, Jaco Johan, what a classic! Yeah. So after that, yeah, he got a ban, eh? So yeah, but he's back now. I saw him. He went to go watch the Stormers. I think it was last weekend.
Sorry, Chat, I've got to interrupt there. I want to carry on. With these meetings, do you know how to extend it? Because it says we've got 5 minutes left, and I don't want it to come to an end.
It won't stop. That's only if you use Zoom. Then it just kicks you out. If you just keep on with this, it just keeps on going. Just don't stress.
Tell me about Jaco Johan. Tell us.
I mean, it's an old story. When we had that first British and Irish Lions game, there were some questionable calls that were raised in a video that was not supposed to be made public. That got leaked somehow. I'm not sure how. But it got leaked by an account called Jaco Johan. Which is
that's 2 face names.
Yeah, well, I mean, but then you look at the Oak playing for Australia in the T20 World Cup now. He's Tim David. I mean, what's that?
Yeah, from Hong Kong. I checked that, and I literally said that exact same line to myself when I saw him today. That's 2 face names. Nice. But yeah, so what happened? So Rassi got what?
So I think it was a 18-month stadium ban. We wasn't allowed to go to any games or anything like that. Yeah, but that's all done now, so you can go back to the stadiums and things and go have a watch. I'm not sure. There was another ban as well, but I can't remember what that was. But yeah, I think that's also lapsed, so he can actually get on with his job now and do what he needs to do. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. This Northern Hemisphere tour is going to be absolute fire.
True. That you actually, now that I think about it, the last time we encountered these guys was the Lions tour, and there's still so much bad blood surrounding the Lions tour, and that's going to add a level of spice to the encounters.
I mean, we've only played Wales since then, and I mean, we saw how fiery that got at the middle of this year, and that was fiery. That was, I mean, and look, we playing. Oh, yeah, we're playing. I mean, Ireland's going to be an absolute crackerjack of a game. France is going to be, that's going to be one hell of a contest.
On the topic of France, so last night in my local pub, the Rose and Crown, the Welsh gentleman I was speaking to, he said that we've got France. He said that purely from a rugby point of view, he says that on our day we're the best team in the world at the moment, and I had to agree with him there because it's always good to hear. But he said we've got France. He said the song and dance that people are making, and I don't believe that out and out. I think we have to see it to believe it. But he said from what he's seen and what he's followed over the last little while, he reckons that we've got France. I still can't wait. It's the most I'm looking forward to a rugby match in so long.
Look, I mean, it's the first time I'm looking forward to a France game in a long time, because normally when you play against France, you're like, okay, well, what France is going to rock up, you know? Yeah. They were always so inconsistent, but again, they can and could beat anyone on the day. Now they've actually brought consistency to their game, and now you know it's going to be an absolute firecrack of a game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to get thrown around, what the tactics will be, and all of that. It's going to be very, very interesting. And then I mean, after France, we have Italy and England just to go, and then we've got those 2 midweek matches against the Bristol Bears and Munster. But what I would really like to see in the squad is for us to bring at least 2 of the younger fly halves into the mix as well.
I agree. So I've just jumped on to see what the odds are at this stage. Let me just share my screen again. So if you can see, can you see the odds table?
Yep, I can see it there.
You make it a bit.
I mean, I don't know what it means, but I can see it.
So as you can see there, so let's just focus on Betway.
Yeah.
If you go through Betway there, they got France as 5-2, New Zealand at 10-3. New Zealand, I mean, they've had an absolutely shocker or not shocker, but by their standards, a shocker. And I think it's quite cheeky to see that we 5-1, England's 5-1, Ireland's 5-1. Like we've done the Irish Lions, British and Irish Lions. We beat Wales. We were close on the Rugby Championship, and they're sliding England and Ireland ahead of us.
Yeah.
Or on par with us. I think that's cheeky, to be fair.
Look, I mean, we've also had an inconsistent year, though. Let's be honest. It hasn't been plain sailing. We've lost games that we should never have lost.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, we should never have lost a game against Wales. We should have taken that 3-0. I know we experimented in the second test, but we still should have been able to get through that one.
We took that one too lightly. I remember we took that one far too lightly.
Yeah, and I mean the first Australia game, well, that was disgusting.
But I told you I had a bad feeling about that.
Yeah. The second New Zealand game, we should have closed that out when we had the chance. And okay, well, it's only like 3 games, but still, it's the performances were inconsistent, if that makes sense. Whereas
let's get back. Sorry, carry on, finish that, and then I just want to get back to.
We need to be more consistent, and I think those Northern Hemisphere sides like Ireland, they've been quite consistent this year. I think they've only lost 2 games or something like that. And then England, they'll always pretty much have the same odds as we do, just because of their pedigree and things like that, I think.
They love blowing smoke up their arse, yeah.
It's all about the pedigree, eh? They're the only Northern Hemisphere side to ever win a World Cup, so give them that.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, so getting back to the alignment camp, and thanks for bringing up all the players. What Could we see Willie maybe stepping into a 10 role? Worst case scenario. Do you think they're not going to do something like that?
Please,
I'm just for conversation purposes.
if they do that, I would literally be shaking in my boots. I would be shaking. If he gets stepped by a flank, so I mean, put him at 10, he's going to get stepped by a proper backliners. No.
Do you think they'll keep him at
No,
15 and then let him join the line at most?
Yeah, that's why I said we need to take 2 young fly halves as well. And the Oaks that are really on form at the moment is Mani Labok. I think
Yeah,
he's
from
really
Stormers.
yeah, he's really shown the last season especially, and now also this season you can see he's cool, calm, and collected, and he can kick off both. He can kick off both feet as well,
Triple
left
C.
and right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ambidextrous or whatever you call it. And then I mean, the other one is a bit of a guessing game still. Who the other young fly half could be, who they should take. But I just think from a learning experience, it will be good. And we need to have these Oaks there for in case Pollard gets injured again or Goosen gets injured, because I mean he is very injury prone. Or if Alton, I don't think he's ever coming back. But
I think Alton's time in the sun's done.
Yeah, so I mean we have to look at the future, and we have to think about it on this tour, I think, because if we don't, and we do have a little bit of an injury crisis, then we're going to be in trouble. So I think it's very important for them to at least take at least Mani Labok, and then whoever else they choose, that'll be fine. But
I think they'll start Damien Willemse. I've got a feeling he's going to start 10 for the first game.
Yeah, no,
I've liked what I've seen from him.
No, 100%, 100%. I mean, he can play 10, he can play 12, he can play 15, he can pretty much play anywhere in the back line. But he looks comfortable at 10 as well, because he is naturally a fly half. Anyway, he just needs to work on his goal kicking. He really needs to I think concentrate a lot more on that as well. And just get that down to a T. But yeah, I also think he will, in all probability, be the go-to 10, with Goosen on the bench. But we'll see. But yeah, that's my one area of concern. It's definitely at fly half. But it's always pretty much been an area of concern in some or other way. There's always
rugby. That's been our bone of contention since I first watched. I mean, Pollard is without a doubt the best 10 we've had.
the most complete 10 we've had.
Yeah,
Definitely
the most complete 10 we've had.
Look,
I think Jaco van der Westhuizen, there were times when I thought I liked him as a young kid watching him play. I liked him during that little period. Butch James offered some solidity in the golden years of his career. I think he was the worst player in the great team, but I think he still gave us what we need.
I wouldn't go that far. He was actually quite good.
There's a debate I'd like to have with you. We can bring up that starting 15, because I think I've had this chat with someone before. As much as I'm a Butch fan and MJ coaches his kids, I think at the time that team that he played in, like, they all picked themselves.
But then you look at the big moments in that World Cup. There were 1 or 2 big moments where he did something outrageous, like that. I think it was a kick into the corner while we were in trouble against Fiji or something to that effect, where he just pelted it 60 meters into the 5-meter line. We set up and we win the ball back or something. I can't remember, but I know he was very solid. That's the thing.
No, he was always a solid 10, but it's incredible to think that he's a World Cup winning 10, eh? If someone said that to me growing up, that old Butch was going to be a World Cup winning 10, I would have said, yeah, he's going to get a few games for South Africa, but, well, that was a stretch. But I mean, you know what? I reckon that guy's probably fierce. From what I've heard, he's good fun.
Yeah.
But Okay, so we know what the squad's like. We know we're playing Ireland first game. We got any interesting selections in that SAA 20 that were taken. I mean, Jasper Wiese, you didn't mention him.
No, so he's not part. So, okay, this alignment camp we must also take into account only has the guys that are playing in Japan and South Africa.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Is Jasper this side?
Yeah, he plays
The
Leicester
Tigers.
Tigers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's only those guys that are going to go to the alignment camp from South Africa and do play in Japan. But yeah, because I mean Dwayne isn't there, Jasper isn't there. I don't actually know who the other guys are. I can't
Where's
think out.
Mark here? I want to see him back in the mix.
No, I think he got re-injured again. Because I know he came back from his injury and got injured again like 20 minutes in, and then he came back again, and I think he got injured again after that. So I don't know. I don't think we'll see him in a Bokke jersey soon, unfortunately, which will be a real, it's real bad. But I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Speaking
But
of, okay, I'm going to just digress a little bit there, but if you want to sum up that little bit there, if you want to sum up your side.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to this interview too. I'm looking forward to them actually announcing the squad because I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know when they announce it, if they're going to announce all 54 at one go, or if it's going to be 34 and then 20. Yeah. But I mean, we will see some names in there that, in all probability, haven't really been part of the mix. Because I mean, it is going to be two teams essentially that we're sending over.
Yeah.
So you've got the mainos and then the SAA guys. But I mean, it is good. I think it's good that we're actually playing some midweek games to see how the guys will gel and how they're going to get into that environment and things like that. So that's going to be good for us. And I think, look, we've seen it like at the 2019 World Cup, sticking with the Oaks for a few weeks, even prior to the World Cup, and that just the camaraderie it builds and the team spirit and things.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good to have that many guys there to actually just get to know the culture better, understand the processes, all of that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, even if you're going as a SAA guy, you're still going to be part of the
big shoulders with the big boys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. So that's I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that we actually see some guys come through, because I feel that we've got the depth in pretty much all of the positions we need to, but we need to check our fly half stocks and just see where we can go with that. That and also center, to be honest. We need to find an outside center for when isn't there. And I still don't think that is Jesse Krill. I feel that we need to find something else there. I've been watching.
We touched on it the other day, but I reckon if Creole and the Islander play together, then because of what I said in the previous chat about how the 12 and 13s kind of changed a bit with the SA, with the way SA plays, I would say chuck the Islander at 13 and Creole at 12.
No, you could do that as well. I just don't know if the Islander has the hands. He probably does.
It's improved. It's a hell of a lot better.
No, definitely. But look, I've been mainly watching the Sharks, just because they're my team. I've been watching them, and I mean, we do have Ruan Janse van Rensburg there now, but he unfortunately got a red card the other day, which is not good. But he wasn't playing badly. You can see he's still trying to fit in and find his feet at the Sharks. But then I also saw an article earlier this week that we have now signed Francois Venter back from.
I saw that. Where's he from? Where's he coming back from?
Either Worcester Warriors or Wasps. So unfortunately, their loss is our gain.
He was at the
And
Lions back in the day, I think.
at the Cheetahs.
Was he cheated? Is he grey
Yeah.
blue?
I have no idea. I think he was. I think he was. But he is also a proper rugby player. He was also in the Springbok mix for a while. So I mean, look, we're getting a lot of these guys back, which is good. I mean, Eben played his first game for the Sharks last week. He was an absolute monster.
Really, yeah.
Oh, geez, man of the match performance. He was an absolute beast. But yeah, just talking about that, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add on the end of year tour thing. I don't know if there's
Just
much more we can say until the squad is released. So
just some facts just about like the general end of year tours. So from an England point of view, they're going to go with Courtney Laws as captain. I saw that.
well, he's actually been the captain quite often the last while. I've actually been seeing him doing the captaining. It's been taken away from Farrell, I think,
Yeah.
this whole year. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
is it that long? I thought so. I
I
was
think
bringing it to the discussion thinking that was new. You might know a bit more. These are innuendos that you think, or nuances, should I say, that you quite good at.
I've definitely seen him captain England before, and I want to say it was in the
Okay.
Six Nations this year as well.
Okay.
Because I don't think it was Farrell, but I could be wrong. But I definitely know he has captained before. But they're probably going to play him then at flank again. 'Cause I think they've got Itoje
Toje and
and what's that
Villiers.
Hill. I think it's Hill or something that plays lock with them. The oak with the vicious mullet.
Oh yes, and he does the head tape.
No, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know you're talking about. I think he scored a try the once at the Sydney Oval or something like that when they played Australia, and he
Yes.
scored a try and he bowled. No,
Oh, he
he bowled
bowled.
left
Yeah.
arm seam or something in a
Yes.
celebration.
Yes, that is correct. That is him. Yes. Can't remember what his name is, but his surname's Hill, I think.
Yeah, no, I
He's a
know you're
unit.
talking
That
about.
he reminds me of Argus Neyman,
Yeah.
100%. But
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well,
Okay. No,
that's
that's an interesting little fact.
the end of your little factoid there. Just another thing that I saw midweek is the Dupree brothers have re-signed, I think, a new 3-year deal with Sale Sharks.
Yeah.
So that means that Rob, Dan, and Jean-Luc are probably there with no intention of coming back. So with that said, and them having played there, I think this could be their third or fourth season already.
Yeah.
Could we see the Duprees becoming bi-national?
Yeah, definitely.
I think
Definitely.
if they qualify, um, I can see them getting thrown in the mix.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm actually surprised that they haven't been brought back into the mix yet. It's actually very interesting. But I mean, we've got so many flankers and locks, and because I think Dan still plays eighth man, but I know John Luke has pretty much done a reverse Peter Steph because he's gone from flank and he's playing a lot of lock right now, if I'm
That's what
not
I've heard.
mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Which at school was strange because I think Dan played a lot of lock and Jean-Luc played 7 and 8, if I'm not mistaken. So their roles have kind of reversed as they got older.
well, it's interesting, but look, they're good. I've rated them. I mean, when they're at the Sharks, they were good. And they've got good hands. They burly lads as well.
Yeah.
They will hit you hard.
Yeah, I think because I'm just going to have a little look see here because I want to see uh because it takes 5 years to get citizenship here.
Yeah, but remember, World Rugby's also changed the eligibility rules sometime. I don't know if it was the start of this year or whatever. because we're going to see if, or the eligibility rule now, the Tonga side that they can choose for the World Cup. Oh my gosh, that Tonga side, if they choose all of the guys that are eligible for them, it's like a mini old school New Zealand / Australia team. Actually, I want to give you that list. It was unreal.
So he made his debut for the Sail Sharks. So Dan and Jean-Luc made their debut for the Sail Sharks in 2019. So this means that they're in their third season already. So 2019, they're in their third season. How old is he now? 27.
Are they already 27?
Yeah, they're 2 years younger. They're a year younger than you, 2 years younger than me. Okay. So 27, 29. Yeah, look, they could. I mean, 30 as a rugby player, if you've got the stamina and the ability, you're not going to get overlooked. So they could have 2, 3, 4 years as English rugby players.
Yeah, we most definitely can, because I mean they've been playing good rugby. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of the English Premiership, but
I chat to the locals, yeah, and I ask them like what their opinion is of them, because I also think like I know we've got an abundance of loose forwards in South Africa. They were good rugby players. I mean, at one stage they were commanding their spots in the SA side. Well, not maybe Dan, but more Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc was definitely commanding his spots in the SA side.
No, for sure. No, I agree. So, with these new eligibility rules, can I just give you a 23 of the possible Tongans that they can actually now pick?
For what? For which?
For the World Cup next year. For the World Cup next year. So at prop they can get Otamoli, who was a ex All Blacks prop. He's only 26, so he will be able to play for them. I think. When is it? Oh no, he will only be. Oh, okay, no, that's right. Okay, then Paul Ngwamu, I don't know who he is. I'll be honest. He's the lock. The hooker option. Then Sekope Kepu, who played 110 tests for Australia.
Okay.
He's eligible to play for them. Adam Coleman, also Australia.
Yeah.
Lock. He's eligible. Sam Lozy, I don't know who that is. Also lock. He played NRL or something like that. And he played for. Oh, he does have some Tonga caps. Then Vaya Fafita, who also played for New Zealand. He's also going to be eligible. He's got 11 test caps for them.
Yeah.
Then Colby Fainga, who played for Australia. He's going to be eligible as a flank. Lupeti Tamani. Lupeti Tamani, that also played for Australia. 12 tests. He's going to be eligible. At scrum half, Augustine Pulu, played for New Zealand. He's going to be eligible. Then James Fiver, that's a Tongan guy anyway.
Yeah.
Fly half. Solomone Carter. So he played NRL as well, so rugby league. But he also played for the Brumbies and who was the other ones? I'm just having a read here. Yeah, so he played for the Brumbies and things like that. Also going to be eligible. Then another New Zealander, George Moala at inside centre. He will be eligible. Played for the All Blacks as well. Then this is a very big one. At outside centre, they will be able to call on 24 test cap man Malakai Fekitoa.
But he played. How recently did he play? For
25th. No, it was a while ago.
So how long? What's the cool down period from your last game for your old nation?
I think they've made it like 4 or 5 years or something now.
Yeah, the Du Preez brothers could very well play for
Yeah.
England.
Okay, so that's at outside center. Now here's the two big ones. You can play Izzy Folau.
He might.
Yep. So Israel Folau is an option on the wing or on fullback, and then the other one is Charles Piutau, also ex All Black, that you can. Oh, I mean that's
Quite a
the
team.
start. Then there's also like guys on the bench here, but I don't. Okay, Ben Tamiafuna is one that you might know. Sitaleki Tamani, I don't know who that is.
Is that just a
Masimanu.
speculative team, or is that a team that they're indicating they might be able to form?
No,
Is
that's a
that like
team
a
that they
pundit?
might. That's a team that they could be able to choose.
Is that a pundit bringing that out, or
No,
have
that
they
was
got?
actually on Rugby Pass dot whatever it is. So I mean that's a legitimate team that they can pick with the eligibility rules and things. I mean the names that have just been popped out there. And that's imagine playing against Tonga and you're facing all of those oaks. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's the thing that
No,
I mean, we've been saying this for a long time. Like Australia, New Zealand are good, but there's a lot of these islanders that are playing for them.
they're
That
feeder systems. They end up becoming
yeah.
feeder systems for Australia and New Zealand.
I mean, if you look at that is star-studded. That is star-studded. Sure, that would be scary. But I mean, we'll see if they will do it. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll pick all of those guys. But I mean, there are a few names there that I would definitely, if given the opportunity, you'll be like, yeah, come, let's go, boys, let's go. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Well, let's see what the RB their stance is after next year's World Cup, because we've made a few calls here. They could come into fruition.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and then one little thing that I also want to touch on, URC.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen the reports that came out. So there were 2 games scheduled in South Africa this weekend. The Stormers versus the Ospreys and the Sharks against Ulster.
Yeah.
Both games got cancelled because of E-coli outbreak.
Yes, yeah. Tell me more,
terrible.
because I read a little bit on it, but I'm sure you know more.
So what shocked me most is I would have thought that would have been from the Ulster camp, because after the floods that we experienced in Durban in April and June, or April and May, I can't remember, but I know it was April and something. I mean, the water supplies and things like that, it's not good. So there is high levels of it in some of the rivers and going into the ocean, which is terrible. And they're just not getting the solutions to fix it up properly. So it's very concerning. So I mean, I thought that would have come from the Ulster camp, but actually it came from and it actually came from the Ospreys camp in Joburg, which is very, very concerning. I don't know the water situation there, but clearly something's not good there. So that's I mean, it's not a good look. It needs to get sorted out ASAP. I mean, it's disgusting, and I mean now we're missing out on two nice games. That's the biggest thing. And now it was only the Bulls, I think, that played yesterday. They smashed, I think it was Benetton, 44-22 away from home. So kudos to them. But yeah, I mean, there was no rugby to watch today. If you're a Sharks or Lions supporter, which is not fun.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, so the side effects of E-coli is like your system gets drained and stuff. So E-coli bacteria, let me read it. E-coli bacteria normally found Let me do this like they do on proper shows. Bacteria normally live in the intestines of healthy people and animals. Most types of E. coli are harmless or cause relatively brief diarrhea, but a few strains such as E-coli 0157 can cause severe stomach cramps, bloody diarrhea, and vomiting.
Yep.
So if these guys see diarrhea, which may range from mild and watery to severe and bloody, stomach cramping, nausea and vomiting in some people, if these oaks have this for like a week or two, and that hits their whole camp, like that can have knock-on effects for like the next month, because these guys are going to lose size, they'll lose performance.
It's not fun. I think I had a mild strain of it a few weeks ago. Yeah, unfortunately. I was down for 2 days where I just had, couldn't do anything. And I mean, it took me at least a week to get over it. Because you just don't have any energy. It's terrible.
And you as close to peak male performance as possible as what one can get.
You know it, my friend. So I mean, if you as a team are getting that, I mean, it is definitely, there's going to be knock-on effects and things like that. So I mean, it's something that needs to get sorted out. Unfortunately, I mean, there is no real time frame put to the solutions and things like that, which is unfortunate. But I mean, just sports in general, and just I mean, human life, and what do you call it? Living conditions and things. I mean, these are things that need to be looked at. Because I mean, it's costing now, like we've already mentioned, with these other financial crises. I mean, this also will put a strain on the South African teams if stuff like this keeps on happening. So we need to get that sorted out.
Absolutely.
It's not good for the sport. It's not good for the country. It's not a good look. I mean, it's terrible, and we don't want to just be playing overseas. We want the guys to play here as well. So we need to sort it out. Yeah. So that was just a little extra thing that I wanted to throw in there, because I've actually started watching the URC more intensely this year. Last year, I wasn't too much into it, I'll be honest, until the latter stages. But it is a nice competition to watch. I think for South Africa, it's given us a big boost to play against these other Northern Hemisphere teams, because we at the moment we're getting the best of both worlds, to be honest.
A little look behind the curtain, if you will.
Look, we week in, week out playing against Northern Hemisphere sides, and then our international window we're playing against the Southern Hemisphere. So I mean, we're getting that contact. I think for us it's a good thing, because the New Zealand and Australian and Argentinians aren't getting our physicality every week anymore. So when they do get it in the international games, it hits a bit harder than it would have if you've been playing against the guys the whole pre-season or the whole season. So I think it's a bit of a win-win for us, to be honest, which is good. But it's also, you can see the guys are actually performing now. I mean, the Stormers won the URC last year, and we had the Bulls in the final with them. So I mean,
but
it's
that's
good
a reflection of us as a rugby playing nation at the moment.
Yeah, and then also they're going to play the European Championship. So I think it's the Sharks, the Bulls, and the Stormers. I'm not sure if the Lions qualified, but they're going to be playing in the Heineken Championship or whatever it's called as well. So I mean, that's against like Toulon and all of those guys as well, which is going to be bloody epic.
The Wasps or Worcester.
Well, not anymore. It's probably going to be Saracens and those guys as well. But yeah, Wasps and Worcester, unfortunately, no, it won't be with them.
Okay, well, yeah, that's I wish we got more URC here. Watch the odd bit of highlights on YouTube, but that's about it. But I think if my team, Old Stormers, make the final, I've got to make a plan to try and watch that, even if I find a naughty little stream or something and just stick that on.
I mean, just a little question here. Doesn't your dad and them have DSTV? Just
Yeah, but it doesn't work this side because of the IP address. So the IP address of our devices are now UK based, and
okay, so you
DSTV.
still can't stream off that then.
No, we tried. Trust me.
Oh,
Trust. We
that's
tried.
terrible. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. Oh, well,
Um.
I'm sure you'll be able to find something to stream it off.
Yeah. I was thinking. As much as we want to treat our growing subscriber base to maybe a bit more diverse discussion, I think we've covered a good amount of rugby, and I think we keep it
Yeah, I
rugby.
mean, there isn't really anything we can discuss until we know what the actual squad is, and then
Yeah.
getting into that build up, which is going to be fun. Yeah, but I mean, for
But
now,
I think
it's pretty much.
we can very easily do another one of these, probably in the lead up to the first test, the first round of tests. I think that would be a good one.
Definitely.
Yeah. So from my side, I think we've checked all the angles. Let's maybe see that mullet one more time. I need to get a good frame for the picture.
It's coming along. It's coming along. So
Nick Mullet.
we'll see. Nick Mullet. There we go. We'll see where it goes, but
Yeah.
it is what it is at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, our 1,000th subscriber can fly to you and cut your mullet in celebration.
That's hardcore. I'll see if my sister's wedding is in a few weeks. I'll see if she actually allows me to go like this. I'll still have to make the cut.
Okay. Well, Pipes, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for. Where's your green ambulance there? I'll give you a little toast, and then
No,
I'll stop.
I've timed it so well that I've literally just finished it.
Yeah, so
It's been a little good one, as always.
We've checked all the angles, and as I say, till next time.
100%. Have a good one, my bro, and enjoy and like and subscribe. How's that?